we got some good network here. How's it going, Patriots? It's February 21st, 2024. This is day 1141 of Clown World. How you doing, Patriots? We're off to another great start here for the J6 message. Got some beautiful scenery going on right now. Get that all in one shot, man. Hi, Lana Lewis. Hello there. Kim, hello. How about that CPAC? I don't know if you guys got to watch much of it today, but Sapphire Patriot had a good stream. 2 streams today. Great speakers, man. I was pleasantly surprised by all the topics that they were covering there at CPAC today. And we will get that message out. The message of J6, the message of Ashley Babbitt needs to receive some justice. Mickey Widoff needs justice for the murder of her daughter at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Absolute atrocity what goes on there, or what went on there. Hey KA, thanks for joining. Hello there, Nova. How are you? Still a little cool out here these parts, but it's bearable. I got a nice scarf, keeps my neck warm. Let's just get a camera going here. We'll get some J6 news updates and chat going. Vigil, we're going to cover, talk about Vigil number 569 at the Washington, D.C. Gulag. That was last night at Freedom Corner. I'm just in a great spot here, man. I want to show you guys this. Got a covered bridge down there. Nice little covered bridge there. We got the fields laying dormant for the winter time here. Soon to be all plowed up. It's just a beautiful spot. Little country road here. There we go. There's a nice shot. Look at that. I'm not sure if these are God clouds or chemtrail clouds, but I think they're God clouds. These are God clouds for sure. Up to 54 in Michigan. Are you serious? Did I read that right? Wow. No, it's only about 42 here or something today, but I'm all used to the cold weather now, so can't complain. It is getting nice and warm. It was a beautiful sunny day, and I had lots of stuff to do, but I didn't get to any of it because there was other things going on. Every day is a battle. Every day is a little path God lays out for you, and you just go with it, you know. I'm not gonna make plans and you know, make God's duties for the day, you know, go to waste, you know. We got to do what God lines us up to do. Had a bit of a snow. You're in Colorado, right? Colorado? Well, it's good to have you all here. Hi, silly for him. Hello. Hello. In Iowa, it's up to 70 in Iowa already. Wow, that's warm. All right, then we got this way. We could look over here. Yeah, I like that shot better over there. That looks good, that looks good. You can barely see the bridge down there. All right. So thanks for joining me, Patriots. Let's get over, see what happened at Freedom Corner last night. It was Tuesday night. It was Vigil 569 in a row. Freedom Corner warriors holding down the scene there, getting the word out to the world. Getting the word out to the world on what's going on with the J6 issues. We got political prisoners here in the United States of America, once again. We got people, Julian Assange, another political prisoner in prison for years now because he came out and blew the whistle on what our government was doing to us. Our J6ers all went to the Capitol to protest a fraudulent election and the weight of the entire U.S. government. USA versus J6ers. Every single case heard in D.C., every single case, guilty convictions. All of them. I don't know one that didn't get a guilty conviction. They try to peddle off plea deals for these guys and these ladies and gentlemen that stood for us at the Capitol on January 6th, 2021, because they saw a fraudulent election. And if you don't take the plea deal, they start throwing felonies on until you cry mercy. That ain't the way to run a justice system, and I don't think we want to go there as a country, Patriots, because that's a bad place to be, for sure. So every night for 569 nights now, Mickey Widoff, Nicole Reffitt, Tammy Jackson have led a vigil at the D.C. jail, which is where all the J6ers are held while they're doing their trials and their sentencings in the courthouse in D.C. That's the only place these court cases are all heard, right there. And every night we get phone calls from the J6ers that are incarcerated there, and they let us know about what's going on with their trials, with their sentencing, with the abuses that they endure at the hands of the jailers there. We got a jail there that hires work visa employees, foreigners that work in our prisons there, who will not stand up and say a thing about anything that's wrong in there because they'd be afraid to be sent back to the country they came from. They're working on work visas in there. We've had tyrannical wardens that have sprayed bear mace right in somebody's face, an inch away from a face. The bear mace is not to be meant as a weapon. It's meant to be used as a deterrent, and she used it as an attack to attack a compliant inmate there. And she's long gone, but we've exposed all this wickedness there, and there's more to be exposed. And all this wickedness would not have been exposed if J6 never happened, if these guys and gals weren't put in prison there, and if the Freedom Corner Patriots didn't stand up to say something about it. So now we bring this message to the country every night, and this is the message for tonight. Last night at Freedom Corner, there was a group prayer. We start every night off with a prayer because we believe that this is God that we are representing here. God is the God of justice. He is the God of law and order, and He leads us to stand for that. If there is injustice happening and you don't stand up and say something about it, I do believe that is being compliant with tyranny, and standing up against tyranny is obedience to God, basically. So we have to stand. And they started off that night, last night, with a group prayer over the phone, and with another group of patriots that meets every night and prays for the J6ers. So that was awesome there. Oh, and here we got some news for this. Here's another, like tyrants. This is what tyrants do, man. J6 political hostages Ryan Samsel and Jake Lang moved in the middle of the night from solitary confinement, from the hole in the gulag, which is where they've been keeping them for the last couple of weeks, to an undisclosed location. So who knows where these guys are there? They got families at home that are wondering where their father is, where their brother is, where their son is right now, and they have no way of knowing where they are because because these tyrants are in control down there. This is what we got to bring down, patriots. That's what we're standing against, and we're not going to finish until these tyrants are out of there. And justice will be held till we see them in court. Hey, Q to Cat, it is. It's good versus evil, for sure. Hey, Hawk One, how are you? Man, it's no fun having a broken leg, that's for sure. Okay, and then here we got a Gateway Pundit article on that Ryan Samsel and Jake Lang thing. Gateway Pundit is a great source of information. It is a source of information that is censored in the Capitol building and the Pentagon, by the way. A journalism that they won't let our representatives that we vote into office read. They can't pick that article up in the congressional offices right there. That's how, because it's censored there. All right, and then the first call tonight. We get phone calls every night. And they're usually about a 15-minute phone call. There's all kinds of rules on how long you can call. 15-minute phone call from Taylor John Atakis. And he is a deep thinker, man. And he's been reading a couple Ayn Rand books lately. And he shared with us something that he wrote called Wisdom of the Fountainhead, which is he read the book The Fountainhead, and he's diluting the wisdom that's in this book here. And basically, and this is all on a website that he has called Peasant's Perspective. Maybe we'll get that link up here soon. But Wisdom of the Fountainhead is something that Taylor wrote. And basically, happiness is a choice. You decide to be happy. You make the best of your circumstances. You make the best of improving your circumstances if you're in a bad situation. Taylor's sitting there in prison right now, you know, waiting for sentencing. And he's just making the best of it, you know. He understands that there's live streamers at Freedom Corner that want to hear a phone call, that we get the message out to hundreds and thousands of people. And he's putting together a really good message every single night. And thank you, Sylvia. This is his website here, Peasant's Perspective. And he puts most of his essays on this website. He runs that website with his wife, Marie, who we met at Freedom Corner a couple of weeks ago when she came to visit Taylor. And yeah, happiness is a choice. You got to make the best of your circumstances. You got to rely on God to take care of you, no matter how difficult of a situation that you're in. And that's exactly where Taylor is right now. And he is totally fine. He knows God has got him. He doesn't have any doubt in his mind that God is going to take care of him and comfort his mind and give him a good night's rest on that steel bed with a 2-inch mat, you know. And at the end of his phone call, he pointed out that this is the home of the free. If you are brave. If you're not brave, you're not going to live in a land of the free, in the home of the free. You got to be brave to live in the home of the free, because evil is there at your heels every minute of every day trying to take your freedom from you. And in Christ, we all are free. The next phone call we got last night was a combo call from Mark Brew and Chris Quaglin. And we got a little running joke going in with Chris Quaglin there. He got some hate mail, like somebody who hated him, hated the J6ers. They hate us, they hate the Freedom Corner, they hate patriots, they hate freedom, they hate the American flag, they hate everything, and their whole life is driven by hate. So they actually sat down and wrote a 4-page letter to Chris. You know, these haters hate so much that they write hate letters to people too. You know, they don't get enough hate just jumping in our live streams and leaving stupid comments and stuff, or standing at Freedom Corner and shrieking at us with a bullhorn. But they actually sat down and wrote a letter to him. And he got hate mail piece of hate mail number 2 last night. But he said he would read their mail if they put a return address on it. And they put a return address on it, but it was not a valid address. So they are faceless cowards, these haters, and they're just loudmouths behind a keyboard, and they have no message, they have no hope, they have no happiness, because they're driven by hate. And if we weren't standing there at Freedom Corner, nobody would know about these losers all walking among us everywhere we are here. So we are the canvas that hatred paints itself on. We expose it, we draw it out, we bring out the evil in the world, which would prefer to remain hidden so that they would not be known. They could sneak around and do their dirty work in the shadows, but when we stand up, they got to come out to get us. And that's exactly what's going on down there, and has been going on for 569 days and 1,140 days of the clown war administration in the White House right now. Chris Quagland was talking about Judge McFadden. That's his judge, and trying to get a letter to him and all that stuff. And Chris was also talking about the COVID. We can never remember what wickedness did to us during that COVID. The whole purpose of COVID was to make mail-in ballots the method of voting on the 2020 election. They killed millions of people across the world just to sway that election, and put us into submission to their will. And Chris's wife was a nurse. And never forget what they did to the old folks, especially here in Pennsylvania, man. A lot of the old folks that live in nursing homes and stuff here in Pennsylvania, when COVID first came out, a lot of them got sick. And the nursing homes sent all those older sick people to the hospital where they could get cared for, where they could get better treatment, where the professionals at the hospitals were way better equipped to deal with what the sickness that they were having at the time. And what did our governor here in Pennsylvania do? He made all the hospitals send all the old people back to the nursing homes where the care was not as good as the hospitals had, and where most of them died. And because they told us the hospitals were going to be so full that we didn't have room for all these all the COVID patients that were about to flood into the hospitals. And it got busy in the hospitals with the COVID, and the news was telling us, oh, it's overflowing. But at the same time, we were getting videos of nurses and doctors doing line dances and stuff in the hospitals. We had live streamers in New York City at the hospitals here in Pennsylvania that were live streaming that these hospitals weren't full of COVID patients. They were lying to us on the media. And they sent all these old people home for their deaths. And they made a lot of them die behind plastic windows that you couldn't even go hug or hold your grandma's hand in her last days or hours. Never forget, patriots, what they did to us. That is inhumane. And that is what wickedness will do if left unchallenged. And that's why we stand in the face of wickedness to bring it out and destroy it. We must destroy this wickedness. It is taking over this country. There's a problem in this country right now, and they are running rampant through our government right now. And we got to stand up against this, or this will be our last chance, patriots. So never forget what they did. Never forget what they did to us and our people. The next phone call was from Brian Jackson and John George Todd III. John George Todd is a newer guy, and he's only been in the gulag for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months now. And Brian Jackson, of course, he's been all over the prison system so far. He's been in there a long time. And they called in last night and made us aware that Jake Lang and Ryan Samsel have been shipped out in the middle of the night sometime. So a lot of shady stuff going on with the administrations in that jail there. Who knows where these guys are? Oh yeah, there we go. All right, just had to have a quick break there for the geese. Yeah, Ryan Samsel, Jake Lang shipped out in the middle of the night. Who knows where they are now? Seems like something should be wrong with that. I'm not a professional law enforcement guy, but man, something's wrong there. Something is wrong, Patriots. All right, and what else we got here? Brian and John were talking about the CPAC event, which was set to start off today, and it did. And Sapphire Patriot was there. It is really cool, man. So Sapphire Patriot ended up on stage today. You got to go check that out. And then they were talking about Trump is going to be at CPAC on Saturday. So how cool would that be if Trump showed up at Freedom Corner? We're expecting him anytime, all right? We know that sooner or later Trump is going to visit Freedom Corner. I'm banking on it. And he did call in to us one night on the telephone. We also had phone calls from General Flynn there. I mean, Patriots have showed up. Representatives Matt Gaetz and George Santos, before they got rid of him out of Congress, showed up at the corner. And then we also had a couple other congressional members that toured the prison when a lot of this first started and tried to figure out why these prisoners were claiming everything was the treatment was so bad, and a lot of things got fixed after they visited, but not without opposition standing there blowing whistles during the press conference, or when Trump called in. Somehow or another, somebody knew he was there, and some guy put a chicken head mask on his head and tried to make a mockery out of the whole thing. But we got it on film, Patriots. Trump did call Freedom Corner. It was Trump. It was General Flynn. But these haters, they just got to make a mockery out of everything. We don't go to their stupid things and make a mockery of their events. They don't have the common decency of to just leave other people to be free to do what they want to do. They want to interrupt your freedom, your happiness, and just make a mockery of your God while they're at it. So Sherry, Sapphire Patriot was at Freedom Corner. We'll talk about that here shortly. In the chat last night, I got word from Deb for Freedom that Brian Mock, they played the Brian Mock song. There's a J6er, he wrote a really good song, man. I think it's called Stand. And we play it at Freedom Corner every once in a while. They started playing that, and then Deb for Freedom made me aware that Brian Mock will be in D.C. for sentencing tomorrow. So this guy wrote an excellent song. It will probably be the song about J6. It's a song about a father telling his sons why he went to J6 and what happened and why he had to stand for his sons at J6. And let's say a prayer for Brian Mock's sentencing tomorrow, and hope something not tragic will transpire from this. But who knows, man? These judges in D.C. are insane. They're insane. They don't even believe. They think that police officers died on January 6th. That's the ridiculousness of the judges that are sitting on the benches there in D.C. They actually believe, still, 3 years later, that cops died on January 6th at the hands of Trump supporters. It's lunacy. It's a detachment from reality. Here's that song by Brian Mock. Oop, not that one. It's a really good song, Patriots. I recommend you check out that song, man. It is a really good song. All right, so and then the last phone call was from Jeff Sable. Jeff Sable has been locked up for over 1,100 days without a trial. Okay, he is one of the longest serving ones. There's more than just Jeff Sable, but Jeff Sable is one of the ones that has been in there over 1,100 days. Jake Lang is another one. Brian Jackson's got to be getting up there soon, man, for sure. Some of these guys have been in jail for over 1,000 days without a trial. And I do believe that if every American really knew that, understood that, and knew it, that it was a fact, a lot of people have heard that, but they don't believe it because it's so absurd that you can't believe that's happening in America, but that is happening in America. Those guys are in that gulag right now. And I think as soon as America understands that, there will be an uprising. There will be millions of phone calls, as there should be, to your congressmen to get those guys out of prison right now, to get these judges off the seats that they sit on right now because they're ruling in irrational minds. Their minds are not centered on the law of America. They're centered on something else, and I don't even know what it is. All right, so far so good. With network's good. We're not glitching. Battery's good. Okay, I'm going to keep going here then. And then after every night at 9 o'clock, all the inmates have been singing the national anthem at 9 o'clock every night inside that prison. Okay, and they were in that prison for 500 days before Freedom Corner even began standing outside of that prison to hear them singing the national anthem. But every night at 9 o'clock, Jeff Sable gets on the phone. He organizes all the inmates to stand at attention, sing the national anthem over the phone for us. Freedom Corner warriors stand outside on Freedom Corner and sing his national anthem with them at 9 o'clock every night. And it was awesome. And it's awesome every single night, man. That's right. Yeah, if there's a judge in D.C., they're corrupt, basically, because there's something weird going on in D.C., man. There is some kind of mind control, because every one of the people they bring in for juries is like that, too. Not one jury has ever questioned the prosecution's stories, and the prosecution's stories are so outlandish. I mean, some of these people literally, like, went through a door that a cop was holding open, went into the Capitol, walked through it, looked around, picked up some trash, and went outside, and they're charged with felonies for that. It's absolutely crazy. And that's why we should call, email, or write your Congress members and ask them to come to that vigil or go sit in one of the courts or send one of their aides down there to figure out what is going on there. Because it's a mark on America right now. It is a bad thing that's happening there. And it's about time we end it. And so far, 3 years down the road, our Congress people haven't done a thing to do anything about it, man. Very few have done anything, have even lifted a finger to stop this lunacy that's going on down there. And then after the phone call, it only takes a couple minutes to do the national anthem, so there's usually a little chit-chat at the end of the night with Jeff Sable. And their last couple calls, they've been getting into Star Trek memorabilia. So, when you're in prison, there ain't a whole lot to do. You can play cards, you can work out, and you can watch TV. Basically, that's it. So I'd imagine that every one of these guys has seen every episode of Star Trek now, maybe 2 or 3 times over. So Star Trek trivia, I would imagine, is a big thing in the prison. These guys know everything about it, and it's just funny hearing them talk about that. And one of the things, well, I don't know. That's just weird. The starship in Star Trek is called the Enterprise. I just thought that was weird, It's like a government enterprise. It's not a general's name, and it was named after the USS Enterprise. I learned this last night on the Star Trek trivia section, which is an aircraft carrier that America had. And, most of them are called the USS, Colorado or George Bush, they got a name to them, but there's that one that's called the Enterprise. And what are we dealing with right now in America other than some type of an enterprise that has taken over our government? So I just thought that was ironic and odd. I don't know. If you do, let me know in the comments. All right, who do we got here today? All right, hello, Josephine. Ash, Lee, Bart, Ferg, Boomer, Carol Burton, Jamie Crow. Hello, Jamie. One of these days, we're doing a flag wave, Jamie. Hi, Carrie. All right, we got a good crew in here, man. Oh, excellent patriots. We've all known each other now. It's a beautiful patriot family we got growing. And a lot of that has been started at Freedom Corner. I praise God for this family that we have right now. At least we know we're doing something. I feel like we're accomplishing something. Every day I wake up and think, what can we do? What can we do to get our country back? What can we do to make sure there's a valid election in November? What can we do to get the J6ers out of prison? Instead of the doom and gloom of sitting around every day just thinking, well, it's not going to go away. We got nothing we can do. So we're fighting it, America. We are fighting it, and we wish you would join us. I got one topic of news. It seems like there is a slow exodus out of New York with the businesses that are leaving. I don't know that this trucker boycott of New York is ever really going to materialize. There are truckers that are refusing loads into New York, but there's always been truckers that have refused going into New York because New York sucks. You got to have a permit to drive your truck in New York. You got tolls. You got traffic all over the place. The streets are filthy. Crime is through the roof. So truckers have been dropping out of driving into New York for a long time, for a really long time, actually. So it's not news that truckers aren't making deliveries into New York. And of course, they can hire an immigrant to do all that work anyways. Driving is not that tough. So I guess it's like one of those jobs that if you're new to the country, you can just go get a license and do that job. And that is what I observe when I'm on the highways at a rest area or anything, is most of the drivers coming out of them trucks that are sleeping in the parking lot there are not Americans, okay? I've seen it with my own eyes. I got to believe what I see, So the exodus of truckers not delivering to New York never really materialized. I think it was a fake story from the get-go to set us up to make us look like we were going to do that, and then we failed at it. But there is an exodus of businesses going out, and Remington, the American gun manufacturer, is moving operations out of New York. Another company called Cardone Capital is moving out of New York. And then we got the guy who's on the Shark Tank show. He's a real... Never going to do another project in New York again. Screw him, For the line, that's it. We're not going to New York anymore. There are truckers that have done that, but it is not this mass movement like the fake. It's all fake news. Fake news once again. That never was the story. They took a little piece of information, twisted it around and around and around, and put that on their news broadcast, and it was never true. It was never true, man. Okay. All right, and then let's talk about CPAC now for a while. CPAC is an event that goes on every year in D.C. Last year at CPAC, Mickey and Nicole and Tammy went in there. They were wearing the Ashley Babbitt t-shirts, and they were bringing awareness to all these right-wing conservative people about J6, because we felt that they needed to hear about this because they were paying attention to a bunch of other things, and J6 was getting swept up, under the rug, So they went there and brought attention to it, and they started calling that crowd the J6PAC group. All right. So now a year has gone by, and today Sherry from Sapphire Patriot and Glory B got in on day one operations down there with a live stream and brought to us right in our homes what's going on. Steve Bannon had the stage. We got to see, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 different patriots talking about different aspects of being in the freedom battle. And that entails writing books. We met a bunch of authors, saw the books that they wrote. There was a really good segment on social media and how to get the word out in a more effective way on social media. And before the end of the night, Sherry was on the stage, grabbing the mic from Steve Bannon and telling the whole room about J6 and about Freedom Corner and about the vigil that we've been having down there at that corner for 569 nights in a row now. So God bless you, Sherry. God bless you, Glory B. Boots on the ground. Try to show some support to them. It was hundreds of dollars for them to be able to go to this event. God bless you, patriots that have donated so far to get them into there. But in the meantime, they need expenses. So we got 2 patriots in there that are hit the ground running at CPAC. We got so get on their channels, try to donate to them if you can, please. And then go to 4ashley.com and donate to Mickey Whithoff, Nicole Reffett, and Tammy Jackson going into CPAC in the days ahead here. They are the ones that finance all the expenses at Freedom Corner also. And then, of course, we got all our trusty regular live streamers at Freedom Corner. 1791 Stormtrooper, Rebecca with We the People MAGA live stream. And Glory B is on a live stream there at the corner lot. Sapphire Patriots there, but they're not going to probably be there while CPAC's going. And then we got the 4 Ashley J6 Vigil DC channel also that Tammy and Nicole run, live streaming the Freedom Corner out to us. So Patriots, I'm sure there's action going on at CPAC right now that we're missing because I'm just blabbing on here. And thanks for joining me tonight. We're going to get right back in it. We got a lot of battles ahead, Patriots. Thank you for joining me. This is Jericho, over and out.